Hey everyone, Dreckie here, and today on Side by Side Sunday I'm putting the Firefly 8S next to the newer 8SE. We'll see if it's worth it to spend the extra money on the 8SE, and right away before I even start the video, I think it is. These two cameras are identical in terms of build quality, so if you're looking for one to last more than the other, well, they're going to be about the same. Button layout between the two cameras is also identical, but Firefly has added a touchscreen to the 8SE, and that makes it so much easier to use. At first I was kinda like, nah, I don't need a touchscreen on my action cam, but once I started using it, it makes it way easier to change the settings when the camera's outside of the waterproof case. For example, here with the cameras lying on the floor, it's kinda awkward to get the buttons on the side, and there are other situations where, for example, the camera's on your helmet or it's mounted somewhere where the buttons are inaccessible, and in that case the touchscreen is much easier to change settings. So for build quality it's a tie, but for ease of use the 8SE wins. Now for video quality. I put these two cameras side by side and rode around on my bike a little bit here in Christchurch, and well, yeah, unless you're looking at them directly side by side like this, there's almost no way to say which video came from one camera and which video came from the other. In fact, while editing this video, I ran out of memory on one of my memory cards, and it was a bit of a mess separating which camera was which. However, there are a couple small differences and one big difference, so let's talk about those. The first difference that I noticed is in 1080p mode, so let's switch over to that. In 1080p at 30 and 60 frames per second, both of these cameras have anti-shake, but the 8SE is just a little bit more zoomed in. In terms of actual detail that's in the video, well, let's look at one at a time, so let's start with the 8S, and just show a couple seconds of this footage. As you can see, color is fairly accurate, if a little bit on the yellow side. There's a decent amount of detail, and the stabilization does a pretty good job reducing bumps. And now, moving over to the 8SE, for all intents and purposes, they are the same. So let's take the cameras into a little bit darker situation and see how the stabilization handles that. Let's start with the 8S in this darker section of forest. As you can see, the stabilization in this scenario doesn't work as well as it does in bright daylight. The reason is that a slow shutter speed causes blur when the camera is bouncing up and down, and the stabilization is unable to compensate for the slow shutter speed. The 8SE also exhibits these symptoms, as does pretty much any other action cam. It's just a limitation of a small sensor size and a small lens in a compact body. These cameras can't collect enough light. In this sort of situation, you'd be better off having the camera mounted to your helmet where it's not as shaky as the handlebar. The thing is that, again, these two cameras are almost identical, and you could seamlessly cut them together without knowing which camera is which. I did say that there was one big difference between the 8S and the 8SE, and it is audio quality, so let's hear that. Hey everyone, Dreckie here, and today I'm showing you the difference between the Firefly 8S and the newer Firefly 8SE. I'm out here at Bottle Lake Forest Park, I think that's what it's called, in Christchurch, New Zealand, and I've got both cameras mounted to my handlebars, so we're going to do a few runs here and there, try some of the stunts, and see what the two cameras look like, how they compare, 4K in 1080p 60, audio, that sort of stuff. This is actually a really nice track here, yeah. Right now I'm using the audio from the 8SE because I do have that lav mic that is not included with the 8S. So let's switch over to the 8S audio for about 10 seconds and you'll see why I'm using that. And now we're using the 8S audio, and because I don't have the lav mic, you're going to hear all that echoing of all the bumps that come up through the handlebars. So that's, yeah, not so usable. So I ran out of space on one of my memory cards there, which means I'm not going to get to film on the two cameras side by side anymore, so let's just take a look at some close-up footage. Now I have the lav mic plugged into the Firefly 8S, and as you can see, it again really helps with the audio quality. But yeah, this gives us a good look at how the stabilization handles up close, and we'll see the difference between the Firefly 8S and the 8SE. The original 8S is significantly more muffled than the 8SE. Compared to other cheap action cams, the 8S is still pretty good. The 8SE on the other hand is a stark contrast, night and day. I hesitate to use the word best because I haven't tried every action cam out there, but this is one of the best cameras that I've used for audio quality. Both cameras do accept an external lav mic, which helps in situations where the in-camera audio will be unusable, like when the cameras are mounted on the handlebars. It's only included in the box with the newer 8SE, with the original 8S it's a separate purchase. So with the only major differences between these two cameras being the touchscreen and the audio quality, which do I recommend getting? Well, I kinda spoiled it at the beginning of the video, and if you're coming into this cold turkey, I recommend getting the 8SE. However, if you already have the 8S, there's almost no reason to upgrade to the 8SE. Still and video quality between the two cameras is almost identical, and I'd even go as far as saying if you're the kind of person who's going to be using the camera primarily in its waterproof case, you could save a couple dollars and get the 8S. Inside of the waterproof case, you're not going to have access to the USB port to use a lav mic, the built-in microphone in both cameras kinda sucks in the waterproof case, and the touchscreen doesn't work very well in the waterproof case anyways. For everyone else, I think the 8SE is the way to go. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and as always, thank you for watching.